Hi everyone, this is Greg from Greg's Whiskey Guide, aka Grégoire from France. Today, after having watched a video from new Dram Drinker, where Anthony was explaining how he was delighted to try the Father's Day limited edition of Wolfburn Distillery, a first fill sherry limited edition of just 2 casks put together for Father's Day 2000 for this year. I mean, at one point of this very nice video, by the way, I recommend you to watch. I will put a link below on the description. At one point he was just enjoying himself with the whiskey, and it was very interesting to see, because sometimes you don't need words to express your opinion about a whiskey, and especially if you're very pleased. Smile in your face, some gestures, etc. Even at some experienced reviewers do that. And at some point he said something like, but what's the point if people just watch me doing a video, if just people watching me enjoying the whiskey with no words? And I ask myself, that's interesting. Maybe we can do things differently, even if it's not very popular, even if it's a bit experimental, even if it's a bit not really what most people would expect, with very precise, concise words about nose, palate, finish, and rating, and that's it. I'd say to myself, why not try to assess a whiskey differently, and also getting a bit off this usual very precise grid, or the simplified one I made for tasting. This was the first version I made for new Dram Drinker, to enjoy their samples in a simpler way. They asked me, and I did that. In the second one, you're more into the primary notes, the family of flavors, stuff like that, and some secondary notes as well. So I said to myself, let's try to take a whiskey that not everybody but a lot of people know, a core range one, and this is it. GLEN SCOTIA, delicious GLEN SCOTIA double cask. No age statement, but around 6 or 7 years old, something like that. 46% ABV. Is it non-chill filtered? Yes. Is it non-colored? No. It is not stated, and I think I saw somewhere it could be colored. And I also choose something I like, something which is complex, and something which is also not on the neck pour and not on the bottle kill level. Because for me, even if the neck pour can make sense, and sometimes the whiskey is very concentrated, it is sometimes not the best indication of how the whiskey will evolve. But of course, the evolution of the whiskey is also related to the place you are, the moisture, the temperature, the consistency of the environment, in terms of odors of cooking, smells and stuff. So a lot of factors can, also what you ate before, a lot of factors can distract you from assessing a whiskey properly. So some might consider, I'm not close to I'm not strict saying no neck pour, no end of bottle, etc. But for me, this, for instance, is a good level to see how the whiskey can can evolved. Okay, so I poured myself earlier on a bit of this. You can see the color even on the, yeah, so a nice yellow orangey yellow. This is, by the way, before I start this experimental whiskey review, this is a Campbeltown single malt for those who don't know. Double cask means it has been first matured in American oak and then finished in Pedro Ximenez Sherry casks. So what I'm gonna do, of course I'm gonna tell you about aromas and flavors, but first I'm gonna try to summarize the tasting a bit differently. Let's see how we can do things. On the nose. Okay, on the nose for me, it's something like this. Sweet, bold, evolving constantly, but maintaining to you until the end of your nosing, maintaining this flow of aromas. So it's quiet but sure thing that comes to you. It delivers a lot of flavors. Aromas on the nose, flavors on the palate, always. So it comes like this. It's gentle. There's reminders of the fruity side that comes to caress you while the nose, while you have still this bold and solid American oak aromas. So it comes like this, like something that's constantly throwing on your nose flavors. I mean aromas. aromas. I don't know if that makes sense. In terms, and yet to the very end, something that climbs a bit, and these are the spices and a hint of red fruit. So if I take my notes quickly, what do I have? I have some acidity, some sourness, then some delicious fruity notes. This was written in the beginning, so not probably the best notes I can give from it. But yeah, 8.75 out of 10 for the nose. Let's try to get back to it again with another approach of the nose. Yeah, so it lifts you up. It's something that brings some there's some energy in there. There's some seductive part as well, so it lifts you up. It constantly throws you aromas. It's not something that will go like this and then decline. So it's solid and consistent nose. Okay, let's go on the palate now. Take some water first. Lots of things. It's bold. It's complex and stings you at some point to the very end with spices. And right behind it, it calms down a bit after it had warmed your palate. It calms down a bit again with the red fruits coming in back. So you get some tea note, So you get some bold red fruit, beautiful cherries, dark cherries, some ripe strawberries, some black currants, and the spices are the ginger, maybe yeah, there's some green notes as well, and some honey, a bit slightly bitterness, but a slight like a slight hint of peat. But basically, it's a solid, very consistent and full-bodied whiskey. Let me try now with water, see if it changes something, which I think probably. Yeah, nice opening it seems. I haven't tried this for weeks, I have to say. Slangiva. On the nose, there's some slightly waves, slight gentle waves of peat coming in from behind. Just gentle ones. On the palate now. The first initial impression of boldness and yet sting of spices is tempered. So now you have the boldness and the length of the palate, when everything is a bit sweetened, melted together. The spices, the herbs, the honey, the dark fruits, everything is composed to do something that is complex, and that is elegant, and finishing on the same ground, sweet. No, I'm not hypnotizing you. Sweet ground, and must feel weird, I reckon. Let me give you another. There's something now of a black tea with some dried herbs, some pepper, which is very Glen Scotia. But it's like then you have a caress of red fruit. Tiny ones. It's not Redbreast. It's not Glendronach 12. But there's still a huge influence of the Pedro Ximenez Sherry in there. So you still got your ginger, your pepper, the layers. You got layers of flavors. But this is sweet. This is now coming in very sweetly, and everything is balanced like that. While on the palate without water, it would be like that, and then up, climbing there for the finish. Then now everything is like this. Okay, so yeah, that was this try of experimenting a bit more gesture and things, not only words. About the texture, I forgot to speak about texture. Is fluid. It's fluid. It is solid, but it's fluid. It's not too. It's not fat. It's not. It's a bit oily, but it's mostly fluid. It's not watery. So it's really a satisfying dram. About rating, I rated this 89, sorry, out of 100, 89. It just misses a bit of something to go to climb to the next level, which is 90 to 95, let's say, or 90 to 93, 94. Not very many whiskies go over 94, I have to say. But it's a very nice whiskey, and I really recommend it. It's a great value for beginners and for people who are into a whiskey journey for, let's say, less than 10 years. But it is also able to satisfy people like me with more than 20 years of tasting. And I really enjoy. I also enjoy the packaging. Lots of things we don't often talk about. They always show the Campbeltown harbor or city, like in the beautiful 1832 travel retail. Was one of my whiskies of the year 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. And of course there's also this 2018 rum cask finish Campbeltown Festival edition. Let's see. So I have a little in my glass left. Now then some more red fruit with a bit of prickle coming out of the glass. So it's the sourness, typical sourness from also some notes you have from the distillery and coming from the sherry side. Bold, rounded, with enough edges to entertain you. This is GLEN Scotia Double Cask. Thanks for watching.